welcome. We're going to talk to the core values of HorsePower brands, and it's important as we sit here today. I've invited our three of our brand presidents with me today to share about our core values within HorsePower. I speak to candidates often that it's important that you're making a decision, that you're jumping into a culture that you want to be a part of. And our values represent part of our culture and what we do here at HorsePower Brands. So we have 5 key core values. But with us today, first, just to start off, we have Brandon with Stand Strong Fencing, our brand president, Kelly with Gatsby Glass, and then Don with Mighty Dog Roofing, 3 of our brand presidents within our portfolio. To kick this off, we want to start with our first core value, intellectual capital. I'm going to pass it over to you, Brandon.
All right, thanks, Tony. Yeah, intellectual capital, there's a reason that this is our first core value, because our people are our greatest asset. And when we look at intellectual capital, it's the intangible value of your employees and their skills, knowledge, training, and experiences. And so we understand that that can be a true differentiator for organizations. So we prioritize intellectual capital in the hiring and recruitment phase, both of employees and candidates. We want people that are high performers. Then we lean in even further through development, training, empowerment, and try to build intellectual capital with every individual that is within this organization and that we partner with. We kind of have a tagline that you don't build the business, the people, you bring the people and the people build the business.
Yeah.
And we're committed to that. And so intellectual capital couldn't be more important within this organization or others.
It's one of our favorite core values, one that I think all franchise candidates in building their own business could take into their own business, because it does take people. We even speak to further than that. So it's our people within our 4 walls, our employees, but then it's also selecting the right franchisees that are going to run one of our brands and be responsible for it. And then working with our suppliers and vendors that have hundreds of years of experience in capturing that intellectual capital that they possess and injecting it into our overall brands and purpose. So it's a great one of our favorite core values. The next one, I'm going to flip it over to Mr. Don, right? With purpose.
Purpose. So purpose is know what you want, when you want it, and how you're going to get it. In an environment like ours, purpose is so crucial. A lot of times I talk with my team how it's our proactive core value. So often in our environment where things are always changing, we're moving so fast, we're always opening locations, we're helping them grow. We really have to be intentional because it's easy to become reactive. And so when I think about purpose, we're always just challenging ourselves to slow down and get ahead of what issues could be coming. How do we need to continue to help the system grow? And so being purposeful from the top down, everybody needs to lean into that core value because our role here as the franchisor is to support our franchisees and give them systems and processes to help their businesses grow. And if we don't have a tremendous amount of purpose every single day, we're going to wake up and become a reactive organization.
I love it. And the company's purpose is to empower entrepreneurs to achieve their why. And we talk a lot internally about how do we help franchisees achieve their why through entrepreneurship. I love it. Thank you, Don.
Yep.
The next one is Kelly with Gatsby Glass. She's going to cover execution.
Yes. And so we have here at HorsePower Brand an exceptional vision, but what we also know is that's really about 1% of what is getting you to achieve your why. And it's through the 99% of that execution, which is absolutely key. And I think Don and Brandon can speak to this very well also, that utilizing the EOS system and really driving not only KPIs, but those meaningful goals to achieve that execution is really what this is all about. So having that vision, but then executing on those goals and having goals from 10-year to 3-year to 1 year, and then having those rocks and milestones all has a tremendous impact on being able to achieve and execute on that vision and on that plan.
I love it. Our candidates through the Discovery Center can see a video on the entrepreneurial operating system with Justin Meek covering the EOS that you mentioned.
Yes.
But we believe that that's a great tool inside our organization to match up to this core value of execution, breaking it down from a 10-year, 3-year, 1 year, down to quarterly rocks, down to a weekly 7-day action item. So using EOS to this core value does a lot of good.
Absolutely.
Our 4th core value, winning energy. We're going to pass it back to Don for winning energy.
Yeah, we do love winning around here. Otherwise, the 4 of us wouldn't be sitting here. But
Correct.
Really, for us, winning energy is first setting goals, achieving those goals, make sure we celebrate, and then repeat.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, you think about top performing organizations or athletic programs. At the core, the common denominator there is people like to win in those organizations. And so, but sometimes when we think about setting goals, Kelly already mentioned that we're an EOS system, is we set our BHAG, our 10-year goal, our 3-year goal, our 1-year goal. But really, where I think it's different here is we break that down into weekly goals.
Yep.
Let's win the week, because for us to win that Super Bowl, we have to move that ball 5 yards down the field every single week. So we're setting small goals along the way, and we also celebrate those along the way. It's important to celebrate, in an environment as busy as ours. It's easy to move on to the next goal and just keep winning. It's important to hit pause and celebrate, and I think we do a great job of that here at HorsePower.
Yeah, that's good advice, and there's power behind momentum. And so by setting those smaller goals, seeing your teams win those small goals, it creates that momentum week over week, and you start to tackle the bigger problems, and you start to win in those bigger problems. So we
Absolutely.
love it. So the last core value, the fifth one, is having a backbone, and we're going to pass it back over to Brandon on having a backbone.
Yeah, when I think about having a backbone, how we really flex that within HorsePower, to me, it comes down to not being complacent. So this is where we are always challenging ourselves to raise the bar. So when we talk about having a backbone, we're okay disagreeing a bit, finding a resolution, really vetting out our options, finding the best option, challenging ourselves through that process. But then once we do have a resolution or a path forward, we commit it as a team. We move forward towards that together. So it's just something that if we're an organization that continually challenges ourselves, we're going to be better. And so we're committed to that in lieu of being complacent and just doing the same old, same old. So that flexing that backbone, being able to challenge each other is imperative to our growth here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Kelly, anything to add there?
What I would like to add also is I think what is really important to us as leaders, whether it's here within HorsePower Brands, within our brands, or as entrepreneurs who are launching businesses, is to consider creating an environment that is open to receiving differing opinions from the team members and the people who are working with you. So you create that environment where they can feel confident to come to the table with meaningful options that you may not agree with, and that's okay, because then you have a good dialogue to discuss that, and then when you're open to receiving that, then you can actually create an environment, a winning environment, back to the winning energy aspect of our core values, to create those rewards and the implementation of and execution, basically tying all of these core values together in a meaningful way for everybody to be successful.
Yeah, and a part of our definition of having a backbone is, towards the end, is making a decision and wholly commit. So if you can create a team where they feel comfortable discussing the disagreements, but you come together, you do make a decision, because no decision is worse than anything.
Right.
So you do make a decision, you wholly commit towards it. So those are our 5 core values here at HorsePower Brands. Thank you for sharing some of the details. It's on purpose that I invited these 3 with us. They exhibit, in my opinion, all 5 of our core values each and every day within our organization. But I wanted them to come in and share a bit of the core values from our culture, our company, with you through this process, because as I said in the beginning, selecting a company, selecting a franchise system that has a culture that you want to be a part of is key in this decision-making process. So thanks for joining us, guys.
Awesome. Thanks,
Thanks,
Tony.
Tony.
Been a pleasure.